Texas. If you didn't notice, this is my house. But we got back Tuesday night. I kind of have a little story to tell. Washing bottles, because that's all you ever do once you have a baby. And I wanted to do a lot more vlogging and videoing and stuff like that while I was in Mexico. But we had some stuff happen that made that a little less, I don't know if you would say enjoyable, because it still would have been enjoyable for me, but my wife's feet got really sunburned. On Saturday, we got down there, we flew down Friday. So we got there around dinner time, maybe a little later. And we went to dinner with the family that we went with. We went to a wedding, basically, is what we were doing in Mexico. We just decided to spend a few extra days and enjoy Mexico a little bit. Now, we definitely did this. Definitely enjoyed Mexico. It was a ton of fun. But with my wife's feet getting so sunburned, she was in quite a bit of pain the majority of the trip. And I felt really bad for her because I couldn't do anything. And she couldn't do anything. She didn't really, she could barely walk. Her feet swelled up like you wouldn't believe. And it was just really painful for her. So, I didn't get to vlog as much as I was hoping I would. Just because of that, we kind of hung out in the room on Sunday. We did a couple things, and we went parasailing. When my wife and I got married, my wedding gift to her was that I would go parasailing. And I've probably talked about this before, but I'm not the type of person that enjoys heights all that much. I don't have a fear of heights. I believe in only having rational fears, and the fear of heights to me was irrational. So to rationalize my fear, I thought about it for a while and decided that it wasn't the actual height that scared me. Quite the contrary. I do enjoy being up in the air because you can see a lot. And it's a lot of fun. I have a fear of falling. Mostly it's the ground at the bottom. But I told her that I'd go parasailing with her when we got married 2 years ago. Almost 3. And I didn't. So does that make me a terrible person? Some may say yes. Others may say it was okay. But I'm not the kind of guy that makes a promise and doesn't do it at all. So she told me that if we ever went again that I was gonna do it, and I agreed again. So when we got there, I think Saturday during the day we went kayaking, and it was a like spur of the moment thing. Otherwise I would have taken my GoPro and filmed some stuff, but I didn't. And we went paddleboarding, and that was a ton of fun. It was my first time paddleboarding, and I only fell once, and I was standing up quite a bit, but it was a lot of fun. And we signed up to go parasailing the next day after lunch at like 1:30. So I didn't freak out as much as I thought I would. I was pretty calm about it the whole time. I did get a little nervous before we even got out there. Once we got out there, we were hanging out on the boat for a while, watching people, and it really wasn't that bad. But we got up there, and it was our turn. So they strap us in and send us up in the air. And it was actually a ton of fun. You could see a lot. You could see a lot on the beach, and then the water was really clear, and you could see all the seaweed and stuff, and then the spots that don't have seaweed, you could see like all the way to the bottom of the ocean, which it wasn't completely like super deep where we were, but we didn't get to see like dolphins or sharks or anything like that. It wasn't like super crazy, but the way we got to the boat to parasail was on a jet ski with a guy. My wife and I rode out together with this guy on the jet ski. He pulled up next to the boat, still driving, and we hopped onto the boat. So that was interesting. He was actually really good riding the jet ski, driving the jet ski, whatever you want to say. It was a lot of fun. On the other hand, my brother-in-law's girlfriend did not like the jet ski ride. She gets a little car sick and apparently ocean sick, jet ski sick. She didn't like it at all, and she screamed the whole time or whenever they took off to go up in the air. She was not liking it for a minute, and then she enjoyed it, and we all enjoyed it. It was a ton of fun. And then after we got back, we got to ride the jet ski for a little bit, our own jet ski, and my wife and I took it out, and we just kind of hung out and rode around for a little bit. And then we went back to the room and got ready for dinner and the wedding. And my wife's feet were super swollen and sunburned, and she could barely walk, and I felt absolutely horrible for her, and I couldn't do anything about it. And I decided to shave my head right before we went, which was a grand idea, and my head got sunburned, like just like the crown of my head. Not really up here, not on the back, not my ears, not my face, just the crown of my head. And it was pretty painful. And then on the way back, I got sick. I don't know where, I don't know what from, I don't know what did it, but I ended up getting a little bit sick. I didn't ever throw up, I just felt really bad. My stomach hurt. It was just unpleasant. And the plane ride from DFW to Lubbock was interesting. I don't mind planes at all. I actually love planes. I love flying, and the smaller the plane, the better, to an extent, I guess. I've never really ridden in a really small plane, but the smaller airline planes, I don't remember what it was, are a lot of fun to me because I like being able to feel the plane and stuff like that. And it got bumpy and windy when we got close to Lubbock, but it was still a lot of fun. We had a ton of fun. I am sorry that I don't have more video. It was hectic. My wife's feet hurt, and I didn't want to drag her around. We kind of hung out one day in the hotel room to try and let her rest and try and get her feet a little bit better. And then we sat out by the pool in the shade, and I had a shirt over my head, so I didn't even think to take a hat because I generally don't wear hats, but you know, what are you gonna do? So now we're here, and I just got done editing some pictures I'm hopefully gonna get some more. I basically shot a wedding with somebody else's camera because they're more of a family member than I am. I'm married into the family, and I don't know her relation to the groom or bride, but she wanted to watch the wedding, and she found out that I did photography, and somebody kind of offered for me, and I didn't mind at all. It was a ton of fun. I enjoyed it. It was probably the easiest wedding I've ever shot because they had a photographer there, and all I did was like shoot over his shoulder the whole time. I didn't have to pose anybody. I didn't have to do anything except push the button and make sure the settings were right. So hopefully I'm getting those pictures pretty soon. And the surprise that I didn't get to video because it was spur of the moment, my wife and mother-in-law ran up to the room to get my camera so I could take pictures of my brother-in-law's engagement as it happened on the beach. It was supposed to be the next day, but it ended up happening right after the wedding. He talked to the groom and everything and made sure it was okay with them. But basically they had already taken off, or I think they might have been finishing up some pictures with just the bride and groom, and we were hanging out on the beach waiting for them to get back with my camera bag and flashes and everything, so we could take their pictures of them getting engaged. And it turned out pretty cool. She was definitely surprised, and that was fun. And then we hung out and went to the reception and had some fun, some good food. Oh, just for the record, my wife's feet are doing better. Just so you know. She's not dying. We're not cutting off her feet. I know she wanted to for probably a few days, but I talked her out of it, and she's doing a little better now. She can walk around a little more. They're not as swollen, they're not as painful, but now they're starting to itch because, you know, if you get a bad sunburn, it doesn't matter what you put on it, it itches. She's been putting lotion on it, like after sun lotion with aloe and all kinds of stuff in it to help sunburn. This is stuff I used when I was a lifeguard, and I would get a pretty bad sunburn even through sunscreen on the first couple days or the first week that I was working of the summer. And I'd put that stuff on it and it'd be gone in like a day or two. That stuff is magical. But she's been doing that, aloe vera. We had to use some lidocaine for a while, and I know it's not the best thing to put lidocaine on burns and stuff like that, but it was a first degree burn just like any other sunburn. She just had an inflammatory reaction, and it swelled up her feet. So hopefully she'll be doing better, almost 100% in the next few days, and she'll be feeling better. So my head's already feeling better, but it's starting to peel, and now it looks like my head's like falling off in little pieces, and there's nothing I can do about it. Y'all think dandruff is bad? Go get a sunburn on your head. It's ridiculous. I just try not to touch my head, but it drives me crazy. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. As always, I'm KT Medic, and I'm out.